We're looking at the world of hip hop and how it has shaped culture, fashion, and art worldwide. The new book, Rappers Deluxe, How Hip Hop Made the World, traces its evolution. It's written by Dr. Todd Boyd, who is a professor of cinema and media studies and will be appearing at the Chicago Humanities Festival this weekend.
And Dr. Boyd joins us now. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning.
Thanks for having me.
Sorry for that intro. You know, you'd think you'd have some hip-hop music to go along with the video. We just didn't have it queued up in time. How you doing? Thanks for being with us.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So talk about some of the early influences in the 70s that people might not know predate some of the hip-hop we're more familiar with.
Well, you know, in the first chapter of the book, I'm talking about many of the influences that would help create hip-hop. And of course, in subsequent decades, hip-hop would be able to influence other areas of culture. But interesting story, the first week that hip-hop is, supposed to have started, its mythical origin story, the #1 movie at the box office is Pam Grier's film Coffee, blaxploitation film. So many influences in the 70s, such as blaxploitation, figures like Muhammad Ali, some of the social circumstances going on in New York City, blackout, etc. Very interesting time, soldiers coming back from Vietnam. So it's a real formative decade when hip hop is absorbing all these influences and will subsequently have the ability in future decades to influence other areas of culture, society, and politics as well.
I'm curious to know, I grew up with Run DMC, and I thought their lyrics were very clever, and they talked about the social issues that you mentioned, and then it sort of morphed into this fast cars and women kind of genre. What happened there? Did rap lose its way, or what happened?
Well, I don't know that I would necessarily agree with your characterization. I know that there have been some examples that might fall under that category, but I don't know that you would sustain 50 years if you were only focused on something so narrow. The culture grew, it evolved, and I think it came to encompass political aspects, aspects that were invested in a certain type of braggadocio, celebrating certain party lifestyles. I mean, hip hop is broad and includes many things. It's certainly come a long way from the days of Run DMC, but, it's never been any one thing. It's often been a genre and subsequently a cultural perspective that included many different angles and many different styles, and the music continued to grow and evolve. And I think we wouldn't be here talking about it now if it were something so easily reducible.
It seemed to be embraced by everyone of all different cultures growing up in America, and yet it seemed shut out of the artist world of the Grammys and MTV. Why was there that divide?
Well, in the 1980s, when MTV first started, their policy, as they described it, was to identify as a rock and roll station, and that term, certainly rock, had certain racial connotations, and Black artists had tended to be excluded early on from that network. People like David Bowie and Rick James were very critical of such things. But by the late 80s, MTV itself had, caught the wave, as it were, and started a show called Yo MTV Raps, which would come to be quite influential. In terms of another institution like the Grammys, I mean, hip hop has been acknowledged. It has not been acknowledged in the way that many people in the culture would like. But in the late 90s, of course, Lauryn Hill had an incredible run at the Grammys, winning in numerous categories. And so, at the same time, you want that industrial recognition, but the fans of hip hop and the larger culture has responded in ways that maybe the Grammys need to keep up in order to maintain their credibility. So hip hop's been excluded, but it's also been included. And over time, I think it's overcome those limitations that maybe existed. And then at the same time, there are still areas that are slow to pick up on hip hop's massive influence.
And then you look at the big Super Bowl halftime show that featured all of these icons of the hip hop movement, produced by Jay-Z's entertainment company. How significant was that?
Well, I think the Super Bowl halftime show has become the most mainstream venue in American culture. You can't get any more mainstream than Super Bowl halftime show. And so to have the Super Bowl in Inglewood at SoFi Stadium in 2022, Dr. Dre and Snoop and Kendrick Lamar, Mary J. Blige, Eminem, a whole host of rappers. You had the evolution of gangster rap from 30 years previous that would have been excluded from the Super Bowl, say when Michael Jackson performed back in 1993, to the point that hip hop was headlining the most mainstream venue in the culture. So I think that's quite a indication of how far hip hop had come, that, now hip hop was center stage. And of course, people watched the Super Bowl halftime show all over the globe. So it really spoke volumes to how far hip hop had come over an extended period of time.
Well, the book is Rappers Deluxe, How Hip Hop Made the World. You can see Dr. Todd Boyd this Saturday at Ramova Theater. You can go to chicagohumanities.org for details, and you can follow Dr. Boyd on social media. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.